Next part of the outlining stage is the call to adventure. The call to adventure is important for a number of reasons. One, like the inciting incident, the hero has to accept the call to adventure. And in this format, it's kind of like heed the call to adventure. In order to get pushed out of their ordinary world, their comfort zone, something has to happen. Someone has to do something. Usually the someone who has to do something is your hero, your main character. The pull to the call for adventure is usually like a I want to, I don't want to, I need to, but I don't want to. Arwen calls it a push me, pull you moment, and she's absolutely right. Your character feels the need, maybe, to do whatever it is he or she needs to do, but doesn't really want to. I pulled my cards, and I got the 5 of Chalices or Cups. I got the King of Chalices and the Moon. What I have written down, because I don't want to, you know, what she's got in her eCourse out there, I'm just going to talk about what I've learned from doing the work. My hero, Iris, she starts out in her world, and that was represented by the 2 of Wands, where she feels like living in the mundane, normal world is what she wants. It makes her feel like she's in control, and she feels safe and stable and secure in that world. Now, when you add in the call to adventure, which is the 5 of Chalices, my call to adventure, her brother is calling her. Her brother has called and told her that her grandmother's been murdered. And this is what it looks like after she gets that phone call. All you see in this card is sadness. You see chaos. You see upset, mayhem. Something has happened. She's surveying the damage. Or she will be very soon surveying all of the damage. But the person in the card is lonely, bereft. It's a person who is disappointed, who feels guilty, who feels like maybe part of it's their fault. That's not just the guilt, but it's what is it called? Self-recrimination. This card makes me think about how my character needed to wake up. She needed a wake-up call. Remember when I was talking about the card with the holding the world and how she thought her world was this perfect world, and I felt like her world was going to be turned upside down? Well, this is the beginning of the being turned upside down. She's afraid. She's afraid that if she gets drawn back into the magical world, into the witch business, that she'll never leave, that she'll never be normal. What she doesn't seem to understand is that she is not normal. She is psychic. She's a hereditary witch. She was born to this. It is her destiny. Now, the loss of her grandmother's been murdered. She's going to want justice. She's going to want the murderer caught. She wants to know who the murderer is, why, you know. But the fear of leaving her ordinary world is represented by this character, the King of Chalices. This guy is sitting on his throne, relaxed. He's got his legs crossed. He's got his cup in his hand. He's chilling. He's like, you know, what? The card, when you look at the definition, it says completion of an emotional time, a resolution on the feeling level. To my character, this living in the mundane world has, on the surface, resolved a lot of her fear and issues. If she's in this world, then she's away from the magic. She's away from the witchy business. She's away from witch hunters. She feels a false sense of security because she thinks that she's, you know, she's in control. And that's what I get from that card. Now, what is going to make her wake up and heed the call to adventure, I pulled the Moon. Now, the Moon is representative of something on the surfaces that's not exactly what it appears to be, that they start seeing that what they thought was obvious is not so obvious anymore. The truth is coming to the light. It also seems that the card can represent deception or jealousy. It can also represent psychic abilities, precognitive dreams that will come true, illusions, self-deception, listening to your emotions rather than your intellect. And I think this card is her being true to herself, to her real self. That the call to adventure, in order for her to heed that call, she has to accept that, and that will be part of her character arc, is that she will eventually accept that not only, one, has she been having reoccurring dreams that she's been outed as a witch or as a psychic in her normal, ordinary world. She keeps dreaming that she's been outed. She's also been feeling a bone deep feeling that her girlfriend has been cheating on her, and she hasn't been able to prove that her girlfriend's been cheating on her. But the real kicker, the thing that's going to kick her into overdrive for heeding the call to adventure, is that she's going to go home after she gets the phone call from her brother. She talks to her boss. She's going to go home, and she's going to find her girlfriend naked on the couch with one of their mutual friends, and she catches her cheating. And that's all the proof she needs. She's going to pack up everything she can fit in her car and head back home to Harmony, where her grandmother's at, because, you know, she's got her grandmother's funeral to deal with. She's got family members, her brother. They need to find out what happened to her grandmother, and I think it's really important for my character to get to a place where she's being true to herself. And part of that call to adventure, I think, is realizing that she's been lying to herself all this time. She is not normal. She is never going to be quite normal. I don't think any of us are actually normal. And I think part of the hero's journey for her is to be true to herself, to accept exactly who and what she is, to accept her power and her ability, and what she can and can't do with it, and what she feels like she can and can't do with it in her heart. To also accept the fact that, you know, there's more to life than, sometimes be careful what you wish for, because that ordinary normal world was eventually going to fall apart anyway, because the very beginning of the novel, you see in her ordinary world where she's arguing with her boss about how she's saying, hey, look, the house isn't haunted, but there's no ghost problem. The fraud, it's a hoax. They just want to get on TV. They just want to make money off of it. But she can't tell her boss that what really is going on, that the ghost who actually comes and goes in the house doesn't bother anybody. It used to be his house, and he's just happy that people are in it and, you know, living a life. But he realizes that these people have heard stories of him as a ghost being there, so they want to make money off of him. He doesn't feel right about that. And he tells my character, hey, look, I'm not doing anything. I haven't moved a single object. I'm not bothering them. I just come and check. It used to be my home. It will always be my home. But they've heard stories about a ghost haunting the place, so they think they can make money off of it. And so he tells her what they've done in order to make it seem like a ghost is there. And it's a fraud. She can't prove it. He's like, well, how did you know those were there? Or blah, blah, blah. Eventually, she's going to have to explain herself, and she has to keep finding ways to explain herself so that she can offer proof without the whole proof. It wasn't going to catch up with her anyway, which is why I think she kept having that reoccurring dream about being outed as at least a psychic. Maybe not necessarily a witch, but definitely a psychic. And she's like, well, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing if I got outed as a psychic. But then she questions herself. This is kind of part of the backstory, because if she is known as a psychic, that's one of the things the witch hunters look for, is people with a psychic ability. And then she knows the witch hunters will find her. So she's kind of damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. So that's where I'm at. I am about to put some of my stuff in Scrivener with all of this, and I will read the Call to Adventure in the Writer's Journey and in Campbell's book. See you guys soon. Bye.